Not to mention Mr. Cabot put, pizza talk is the new pillow talk. Let's go through some of the books you have on your shelf, shall we? In the Name of the Children. An FBI agent's relentless pursuit of the nation's worst predators. So you know what pizza means, Cabot.
Anyways, I send him the picture of Cabot Phillips, and he says, yes, that's the person I remember being at the base.
New footage involving Erika, Charlie Kirk, and Cabot Phillips has recently started circulating online, and it immediately caught people's attention. Viewers say the clips appear to show Erika spending time with Cabot during a period when Charlie was still very much part of the picture. That alone sparked curiosity, but many observers noticed another detail right away. Cabot is the same pizza tattoo guy that several people remember appearing on tour shortly after Charlie's tragic passing, and that connection has made the footage even more widely discussed. What has made the situation even more interesting is the idea that Cabot and Erika may have known each other for quite a long time. Erika previously explained publicly that she had not dated anyone for roughly 5 years before meeting Charlie. However, online researchers reviewing older posts believe the timeline may look slightly different. Photos, social media comments, and messages from mutual friends have resurfaced. And some viewers say those posts suggest Erika and Cabot were already familiar with each other well before Charlie entered the story. In several clips circulating online, Cabot can also be seen spending time with Erika's mother, which has added another layer of curiosity for people studying the timeline. According to individuals reviewing archive material, Erika and Cabot still appeared connected around 2017. Later, when Erika met Charlie in 2018, she reportedly mentioned that she had not known who he was before that meeting. That specific detail quickly triggered a fresh round of discussion online. Critics began asking how that might be possible when Cabot had reportedly played bass alongside Charlie during an event in September 2017. Interestingly, that same month,
we're here in West Palm Beach. We have 550 student leaders from 47 states all across the country, fired up, ready to go, ready to get training, ready to learn how to grow their chapter. We couldn't be more excited to kick off this conference.
Big government side!
Erika and Cabot were also seen together on what appeared to be a casual painting date. As viewers continued digging through older material, more connections started appearing. One resurfaced clip dates back to a Turning Point winter retreat held in West Palm Beach in 2016. In that footage, Charlie is introducing speakers for the event, and one of the names he announces is Cabot Phillips. Cabot delivered a presentation focused on government policy and civic engagement, which at the time seemed like a straightforward appearance at a student event. The reason some people believe that moment is important comes down to the timeline. The retreat happened in 2016, which was 2 full years before the public timeline says Charlie first met Erika. Yet several online researchers claim that Erika and Cabot may have already been close around that same period. Because of that overlap, many viewers have started wondering whether Cabot might have played a larger role in this story than people initially realized. Another element that people frequently mention involves posts that circulated online not long after those events. Erika's cousin, Nicole Rothstein, once shared a meme on Instagram that quickly caught attention. The post featured a dog meme with a caption referring to Erika Fran walking into dinner expecting to see her wife, only to find Cabot Phillips there instead. Once screenshots of that post began spreading across social media, curiosity exploded almost instantly. Many viewers immediately asked the same question. What exactly did Nicole mean by the reference to Erika's wife? Some people believe the comment may have simply been a family joke, while others think there could have been another meaning behind it. The original post never provided any explanation or context, but once screenshots started circulating, the speculation grew rapidly.
Charlie know that Cabot Phillips was Erika's ex-boyfriend when he was playing him one-on-one, and he posted the picture that he won and he never gets tired of winning? Because tell me why Cabot is now an editor at the Daily Wire with Ben Shapiro.
So it turns out that Cabot Phillips, from September 4th all the way through to September 10th until September 11th, took a vacation and he was not a...
While reviewing older posts, some viewers went even further back in time to 2013, when Erika was reportedly living and working in China. During that period, Cabot left a comment on one of her posts praising her editing skills and complimenting the graphic design style she used. On its own, the comment seemed harmless and routine. However, when people connected it with the broader timeline now being discussed online, it became another small detail that many viewers added to the growing puzzle. Meanwhile, Charlie appeared to view Cabot as a trusted voice within the organization. Cabot participated in turning point events, spoke in front of large audiences of student leaders, and was often seen around important gatherings. From an outside perspective, their connection looked like a typical professional relationship between colleagues working in the same movement. However, critics online say the timeline appears more complicated when you consider the possibility that Cabot and Erika may have already known each other privately during those same years. That possibility has led to the biggest question many viewers continue to debate online. Did Charlie know that the woman who would later become his wife may have previously had connections with one of the speakers involved in his organization? Or was this something that people around him may have understood while he remained unaware? At this point, there are no confirmed answers, but the conversation has certainly intensified. During those same years, Erika was developing what many followers described as a traditional public image. She frequently spoke about values, discipline, and personal responsibility. She also stated that she had not dated anyone for several years before meeting Charlie. However, some critics reviewing older social media posts believe the timeline shown online may not completely match those statements. One detail that continues resurfacing involves Cabot himself.
So we know the bookshelf, right? The bookshelf, did y'all see the books? The Secret History of Israel's Targeted Assassinations, Rise and K First. Are you freaking kidding me? Not to mention Mr. Cabot put, pizza talk is the new pillow talk. You tweeted this in 2018, dude, and you know what pizza means. Let's go through some of the books you have on your shelf, shall we? In the Name of the Children. An FBI agent's relentless pursuit of the nation's worst predators. So you know what pizza means, Cabot. Hey, Cabot, check out cannibalism right here, Cabot. I mean, what? A perfectly natural history. Okay, Cabot. Hey, Cabot, how about this one right here? It's called Skiff. It's also on your bookshelf. The Curious Lives of Human Cadavers. Are you kidding me, Cabot?
In a social media comment from September 2017, he reportedly described Erika and himself as a couple who took painting lessons together. That comment attracted attention because that same month, Cabot was also seen spending time with Charlie, including playing basketball together during different events. Another moment that people still discuss happened. Much later, on September 24th, 2025, roughly 2 weeks after Charlie's tragic passing, Cabot shared an older photograph of himself and Charlie standing on a basketball court. Alongside the image, he wrote that he would soon be speaking at his first campus event connected to TPUSA, adding that the picture had appeared as a Facebook memory from 8 years earlier. Some viewers also noticed details inside the image itself. Cabot was wearing a jersey labeled Brigham Young, referencing the historical religious figure and early Utah leader. For certain online commentators, even details like clothing became part of the larger conversation as people tried to examine every aspect of the timeline. However, the central question that continues driving discussion
Of the ticket line was a guy who looked very familiar. I had no idea who he was. And I told my mom, this guy looks so familiar. And as a typical mother, she said, go and say hi. No. We were late for our flight, and I'm not going to come off like a crazy person that's just weird. That ended up being Charlie. Nothing is by coincidence. Now, did we know that no, not until we were like 3 months into our relationship and looking at timestamps, seeing that both of us were in Israel at the same time. But nothing is by coincidence.
Remains the same. If Erika and Cabot were connected around 2017, and Cabot was also spending time with Charlie during that period, how did Erika later arrive for a job interview with Charlie in 2018 and say she did not know who he was? Fast forward to the present situation. Charlie is no longer here, Erika has stepped into a leadership position at Turning Point, and Cabot has appeared as a visible participant in some of the organization's campus leadership tours. For many observers following the situation, the overlapping connections have become one of the most widely discussed parts of the story. Some viewers believe the timeline simply reflects coincidence, others think it raises deeper questions about how all these relationships intersected over the years. As more archived photos, clips, and social media posts continue resurfacing online, the discussion has only grown more complex. At the same time, some commentators have raised new claims suggesting that Cabot and Erika may have remained connected longer than many people previously believed. According to these rumors circulating online, their relationship may have continued into a later period than originally understood. None of those claims have been officially confirmed, but they continue appearing across forums and discussion threads. There have also been discussions suggesting that Charlie may have discovered information that worried him shortly before his passing. Some commentators speculate that he may have begun reviewing legal or financial arrangements related to his estate. Once again, these claims remain part of ongoing online discussion rather than confirmed facts, but they have continued fueling debate among people closely following the situation. Others have pushed the speculation even further as the online conversation keeps growing. A number of commentators have suggested that Erika's relationship with Charlie may have been connected to broader strategic interests tied to the organization operating behind the scenes. These ideas remain strongly disputed, and there is no verified evidence confirming them. Still, the theories continue appearing in online discussions as people attempt to interpret how the timeline unfolded. Another claim that has attracted attention involves Fort Huachuca. According to statements attributed to former Special Forces member Mitch Snow, there were reports suggesting that both Erika and Cabot may have been present at a private meeting connected to that location not long before the tragic incident at Utah Valley University involving Charlie. There has been no official confirmation supporting those statements, but the claim has nevertheless become another topic people continue discussing as they examine the larger timeline. Online researchers have also begun reviewing Cabot's past public posts and connections. Some users point to repeated references he made over the years to pizza in various social media posts. Others say certain objects that appeared in older photos of his workspace sparked curiosity among people revisiting archived images. On their own, these details may not seem significant, but viewers studying the broader timeline have added them to the long list of observations circulating online. In addition to those posts, attention has also shifted toward Cabot's family background. Observers discovered that his father, Tim Phillips, spent many years leading the organization Americans for Prosperity from 2006 through 2021. That group became widely known in political circles as a major advocacy network with influence across numerous states. Americans for Prosperity eventually grew into a large organization with millions of activists nationwide. Over time, it developed a reputation as one of the most influential policy advocacy networks operating in American politics. The group became known for organizing large campaigns, funding initiatives, and supporting candidates aligned with its goals. Before taking leadership of that organization, Tim Phillips also worked as a strategist in Washington, D.C. During that earlier period, his name appeared in discussions connected to the Jack Abramoff lobbying controversy that unfolded in the early 2000s. Reports from that time describe political consulting firms that organized large grassroots-style campaigns designed to influence legislation and policy debates. Years later, Americans for Prosperity expanded significantly under his leadership, building a network of activists across dozens of states. The organization developed a reputation for mobilizing supporters quickly, funding large initiatives, and shaping political discussions on a national scale. As these older connections and timelines continue resurfacing online, many viewers say the story involving Cabot, Erika, and Charlie raises increasingly complicated questions. Whether these connections ultimately prove meaningful or simply reflect overlapping careers and professional networks remains part of the ongoing discussion. As more people dig through archived posts, old footage, and social media comments, the situation surrounding Erika, Cabot, and Charlie has only become more complex. What began as a few scattered screenshots has gradually grown into a massive online investigation where thousands of viewers are trying to piece together what may have happened behind the scenes. Every resurfaced photograph, every archived message, and every forgotten video clip is now being examined closely by people following the story. One of the biggest questions still circulating online is whether all of these overlapping connections were simply coincidence or something more deliberate. On one side of the debate, some observers argue that large organizations naturally create overlapping relationships. When hundreds of speakers, staff members, and activists attend the same conferences and events year after year, it becomes almost inevitable that people will cross paths repeatedly. From that perspective, Cabot appearing at events with Charlie and Erika knowing Cabot earlier could simply reflect the reality of a tight professional network. But critics examining the timeline say the pattern appears harder to overlook. They point out that the connections between these three individuals seem to stretch back several years before the public narrative says Charlie and Erika first met. Old social media posts, event footage, and comments from people in their circles appear to show that Cabot and Erika were already familiar with each other long before 2018. When those details are viewed alongside Charlie's professional connection with Cabot, it creates a timeline that many viewers say raises understandable questions. Another part of the story that continues resurfacing in conversations involves how quickly certain roles seem to shift after Charlie's passing. Observers noticed that Cabot soon appeared in visible positions connected to campus tours and speaking events focused on leadership and activism. Some supporters say this simply reflects Cabot's experience as a longtime speaker within the organization. After all, he had been addressing students and participating in events for years. However, critics interpret the situation differently. From their perspective, Cabot stepping into a role that resembles Charlie's former campus presence feels unusual. They argue that it creates the impression that someone who had earlier connections to Erika is now helping carry forward the public image of the person who originally built that platform. Whether intentional or not, that overlap has become one of the most widely discussed elements of the entire story. Then there is the issue of the public narrative itself. For years, Erika's explanation about how she first met Charlie Kirk has been presented as a simple story that began during a job interview. According to that version of events, she had very little knowledge of who Charlie was before that moment. But recently resurfaced material connected to Cabot Phillips has caused some viewers to revisit that claim and take another look at the timeline. If Cabot was already working alongside Charlie at events while also being connected to Erika during that same period, critics say it becomes harder to picture how those two worlds never cross paths at all. Supporters of Erika strongly reject that interpretation and push back against the speculation. They point out that large conferences often involve dozens of speakers and hundreds of attendees moving through the same spaces. Just because people share the same professional circles does not automatically mean everyone knows each other personally. From their perspective, the internet conversation has stretched far beyond what the available facts actually confirm. Even with those arguments, the debate has not slowed down. Entire online communities have formed around reviewing archived content related to Erika, Cabot, and Charlie. Some users are combing through years of social media posts, searching for interactions between the three figures. Others are analyzing event recordings and conference footage, trying to identify moments where their paths may have crossed before the public timeline acknowledged it. What makes the situation especially intense is that even small details are now drawing attention. Clothing seen in older photos, timestamps attached to comments, and the locations of conferences have all become pieces of a much larger puzzle. To people watching from the outside, the level of analysis may seem surprising. But for those deeply invested in the story, every single detail feels like it might unlock a missing piece of the timeline. Another factor that continues fueling the conversation is the larger environment surrounding political organizations and media personalities. Over the past decade, many advocacy groups have grown into massive national networks with millions of followers online. As those networks expand, the individuals connected to them often face heavy public scrutiny. Supporters and critics alike tend to analyze every decision, every relationship, and every public statement connected to the people leading those movements. In that type of environment, even small inconsistencies can quickly become major discussion points. A comment that once seemed completely ordinary can suddenly gain new attention when viewed alongside other resurfaced material. That appears to be exactly what is happening in discussions about Erika and Cabot. Every new discovery encourages more people to search for additional clues. At the same time, some observers warn that the speed of internet speculation can easily create misunderstandings. When thousands of people review the same posts and clips at the same time, each person may interpret the information differently. Several commentators have reminded viewers that archived posts and short video segments rarely show the full context behind real-life relationships or decisions. Despite those cautions, interest in the story remains extremely high. The mixture of political influence, personal relationships, and unanswered questions has created a situation that many people find difficult to ignore. Every resurfaced screenshot or rediscovered video clip seems to restart the entire discussion all over again. For now, many of the claims circulating online remain unverified. Some of them may eventually turn out to be misunderstandings, while others could lead to new information as more details become available. What is clear, however, is that the timeline connecting Erika, Cabot, and Charlie continues attracting enormous attention from viewers trying to understand how everything fits together. As researchers, commentators, and everyday viewers continue examining the details, the broader conversation surrounding this story appears far from finished. Each resurfaced post, archived interaction, and newly discovered clip adds another layer to a timeline people are still trying to piece together. Another part of the discussion that has gained attention involves Tim Phillips and the political influence connected to Americans for Prosperity. 4. Viewers who remember the Tea Party movement that gained momentum around 2010, Americans for Prosperity played a major role in amplifying that wave of activism. Reports from that time describe the organization investing tens of millions of dollars into nationwide campaigns designed to energize supporters and bring policy debates into the national spotlight. By the time the 2014 midterm elections arrived, the group's influence had grown even larger. Public reports indicated that Americans for Prosperity invested well over $100 million into advocacy campaigns and political messaging during that election cycle. Several candidates who went on to win their races were widely described as receiving strong backing from the organization's network of activists and organizers. It demonstrated just how powerful large advocacy groups had become in shaping national conversations. That background is one reason some observers say Cabot Phillips's history has drawn additional curiosity. Cabot is the son of Tim Phillips, who spent many years leading Americans for Prosperity. Growing up around that environment meant exposure to political strategy, messaging campaigns, and national advocacy networks from an early age. For people following the story closely, that connection suggests Cabot's presence in media and activism circles may have deeper roots than many initially realized. Supporters argue that Cabot built his own professional path through speaking engagements, commentary, and participation in various advocacy events. They point out that individuals who grow up around politics often develop interest in the same fields naturally. From that perspective, his public role reflects years of experience speaking with student audiences and participating in campus discussions. Critics online, however, view the situation through a different lens. They argue that when Cabot appears in a prominent position connected to Charlie's former campus presence, it raises questions about how influence and connections sometimes work inside large organizations. For those critics, the overlapping relationships involving Erika, Cabot, and Charlie have become one of the most puzzling aspects of the entire story. Another development that has attracted attention involves Cabot's activity on social media. Some users claim that older posts and images began disappearing from his Instagram timeline after discussions about his past connections with Erika started spreading widely online. It is not unusual for public figures to reorganize their social media accounts once they receive sudden attention, but the timing still caught the interest of many viewers closely following the timeline. Critics interpreted the removal of those posts as an attempt to reduce visibility of earlier connections that had suddenly become part of a larger public debate. Supporters offered a different explanation, arguing that public figures often adjust their social media presence when their profiles grow or when they begin facing intense online attention. Without clear statements explaining the changes, both sides continue interpreting the situation in their own ways. As these competing perspectives collide across social platforms, the story has grown far beyond a simple timeline question. What began with resurfaced photos and old comments has evolved into a much broader conversation about relationships, influence, and how organizations operate behind the scenes. Every detail seems to spark a fresh round of analysis, as people try to determine whether the connections are meaningful or simply coincidence. One thing that many observers continue pointing out is how far back some of these relationships appear to extend. Posts from years ago, conference footage, and archived interactions have created a timeline stretching nearly a decade. When those moments are placed side by side, many viewers say the story begins to look more layered than it first appeared. At the same time, it remains important to remember that online investigations often rely on incomplete information. Social media posts rarely reveal the full context behind personal relationships, and public appearances do not always show what was happening privately. Because of that, many conclusions circulating online remain interpretations rather than confirmed facts. Even so, the level of interest surrounding this story shows no sign of fading. The combination of political influence, personal connections, and unanswered questions continues drawing attention across social media platforms. Each resurfaced detail encourages more viewers to look deeper into the timeline. Whether these overlapping connections eventually reveal something significant or simply reflect careers that developed within the same professional circles is something that only time will clarify. For now, the discussion continues, and the timeline involving Erika, Cabot, and Charlie remains one of the most closely examined stories many people are talking about online. Now we want to hear from you. What do you think about all the connections and timelines that people have been analyzing? Do you believe everything is just coincidence, or do you think the situation raises deeper questions that still deserve answers? If you found this breakdown interesting, Make sure to like the video, subscribe, share it with others who are following the story, and leave your thoughts down in the comments below. And stay tuned for the next one, because this story may not be over yet.